Governor Mike Huckabee, who's with me now. Governor, this is a pattern that we're seeing out of one city, several people being recruited to go over and join the jihad. What can be done to stop it, or more importantly, to stop them from coming back into the United States? Because so far it sounds like those efforts are being resisted. Our president hasn't pushed for them the way we saw David Cameron do this week.
Well, that's the problem. They could come right through Kennedy Airport with their passport, or they could come across the southern border where nobody's going to be there to stop them. And when we need to really get frightened is when some kid who grows up in, let's say, a Baptist church down in the Bible Belt goes to a college in the Bible Belt and he gets radicalized. But that's already happened. Carlos Bledsoe went to Tennessee State University, was recruited by the local mosque that everybody thought was moderate. They sent him to Yemen. He came back, and on June the 1st of 2009, he shot Andy Long, an Army private in Little Rock, Arkansas. Terrorism is already alive, but you know what the FBI call that? They didn't say it was an act of terrorism. It was just a crime. So if we knew how many things going on in this country were terror, it'd scare the daylights out of us.
Is it because of a reluctance to call radical Islamic jihad what it is?
It's very much that. There's a political correctness that pervades this administration. They don't want to say that it's actually radical Islamic jihad, but that's what it is, and we have to be honest about it, or we can't defeat an enemy that we won't even define and clearly identify.
The problem is, and we've run into this before, balancing our First Amendment rights, our Bill of Rights, with our desire to be secure. And when you look at these mosques, like this one mosque, to its credit, in Minneapolis, called attention to this man. And for all we know, as the reporter pointed out, maybe he's been somehow recruited back by us and is working as a double agent. Let's hope. Let's hope he's on our side. But the point is, it all starts in these cities, it looks like, in some of these more radical mosques or with these more radical players. We have very little rights to go in there and start snooping around.
And we don't want to go snooping around. We don't want to lose the First Amendment. But what we do want is a responsible government that seals our borders, understands who's being radicalized. They have to have some intelligence gathering. They're so busy worrying about my phone calls and your phone calls and getting all of our emails. We've made the haystack so big, it's hard to find the needle.
And so when you look at sort of our porous border down south right now and the calls for, possible presidential action to allow this, to be even more porous, or at least to grant some path to citizenship for folks who have already crossed over, and you hear about reports like this, American citizens who are already abroad trying to get back in with their U.S. passports, does it change your view on what we should be doing? It
does. Well, it's not really a change of view. It is my view that we have to secure the borders. We need to know who's coming in, who's going out, and have they done something while they're there overseas that really should concern us, like learning how to shoot an RPG at maybe a passenger airplane coming off the runway. These are the kind of things that Americans need to be fearful of. 13 years after 9/11, it's as if we haven't learned a heck of a lot in 13 years.
Right now, we literally have to worry about American passport holders, never mind people who don't have American passports, who are coming in through the southern border, which is a fear that was specifically identified by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Good to see you, Governor.
Thanks, Megan.